Sister became obsessed with proving I was adopted after dad mentioned updating his will, so she tried to sabotage my DNA test by submitting her friend's saliva under my name. So here's the background. I'm 28, my sister Fiona is 31. We've always had a decent relationship, not super close but we get along fine at family gatherings, text occasionally, normal sibling stuff. Our dad is pretty well off, owns a successful contracting business that he built from nothing. Mom passed away 8 years ago from cancer. About 6 months ago, dad started talking about updating his will. Nothing dramatic, just mentioned he wanted to make sure everything was in order, maybe set up some trusts, that kind of thing. Pretty normal for someone in their early 60s who's thinking about retirement and legacy planning. Fiona and I are his only kids, so we'd be splitting his assets. Ever since then, Fiona has been acting completely different toward me. And I mean completely different. She went from normal sister to, I don't even know how to describe it. Suspicious? Hostile? She keeps making these weird comments about how I don't really belong in the family and how I've always been different. The first time she said something, we were at dad's house for dinner. She was looking at old family photos on his mantle and picked up this picture of me as a baby. She stared at it for way too long, then said, "You know, you really don't look like either mom or dad in this picture." I laughed it off because honestly, baby pictures are pretty much useless for determining family resemblance. All babies look like wrinkled potatoes. But then she kept going. "No, seriously, look at your nose. Look at your eyes. Where did those features even come from?" She was holding the photo right up to my face. Dad was in the kitchen and didn't hear this exchange, but I was starting to feel uncomfortable. I told her she was being weird and that plenty of kids don't look exactly like their parents. I mean, genetics is complicated, right? Sometimes you get your great-grandmother's chin or your uncle's eye shape or whatever. But Fiona just gave me this look like I was lying about something. What's really getting to me is how she started talking about me being fake around other family members. At my cousin's birthday party last month, I overheard her telling our aunt that she's always suspected something wasn't right about me. When she saw me listening, she didn't even look embarrassed. She just shrugged and walked away. The weirdest part is how she's become obsessed with family genetics and inheritance stuff. She keeps bringing up stories about families who discovered shocking secrets through DNA testing. She sent me 3 different articles about people finding out they were adopted or had different fathers. She's constantly mentioning how DNA doesn't lie and how science can reveal the truth about family relationships. Last week, she cornered me at dad's house and straight up asked me if I'd ever wondered about my real parents. I was so shocked I didn't even know what to say. I asked her what the hell she meant by that, and she said she's just been thinking about family genetics lately and how I'm so different from everyone else in the family. I tried to talk to dad about Fiona's behavior, but I didn't want to get too specific because frankly, it sounds insane when I try to explain it. I just said Fiona seemed stressed lately and was saying some odd things. He said he'd noticed she'd been more intense recently but figured it was work stress. The thing that's really messing with my head is that Fiona seems completely convinced of whatever theory she has. She's not acting like someone who's just being malicious or trying to start drama. She seems genuinely convinced that there's some big secret about my parentage that everyone is hiding from her. But here's what I know for absolute certain. I am definitely dad's biological child. I have his hands, his laugh, his tendency to get angry at inanimate objects when they don't work properly. I have mom's stubborn streak and her weird double-jointed thumbs. I look like both of them in different ways. I'm starting to wonder if Fiona is having some kind of mental health crisis. The timing with dad's will update seems too coincidental to ignore. Is she so worried about inheritance that she's convinced herself I'm not really family? Is this some kind of psychological response to grief over